We're being asked to find Pearson's correlation coefficient, or the correlation coefficient, which is R, by using our calculator. Now remember, you're never going to be expected to find Pearson's correlation coefficient manually, so we're going to chuck stuff into our calculator anyway. Here's how we do it. First of all, we get onto the menu screen of the calculator and we're going to click Statistics. And we see here we've got our lists. Now, I always like to label our lists according to income and carbon dioxide. So I'm going to label this one I and this one C. So I know one's income and one's carbon dioxide. And the first thing we need to do is put in all our data. So we'll do that now. And here's all our data in our calculator. Now, keep in mind that this has said that there are 11 countries, so we need to make sure we've got 11 data points, and we do. We also need to make sure that our point, for example, of 16.7 matches our 5.7, which is here. We can't, if we miss a point, we can't have these points not lining up the way they do in our calculator. Now, once we've done that, we need to work out what our independent and our dependent variables are, or our explanatory variable and our response variable. Now, our explanatory variable is the one, if you will, that comes first, and then our response variable changes according to the explanatory variable. So let's have a look. What we're saying is that we're looking at the emissions of carbon dioxide per capita, and the explanatory variable is going to be this income. So I'm going to write here EV is income. And we have a thought that the higher the income, potentially maybe the more carbon dioxide that's emitted. So therefore, my response variable will be the carbon dioxide emissions. So now I've got that, I know that when I see in here my X list is my explanatory and my Y list is always my response. They will always be that X is explanatory and Y is response. So we're going to go to the calculator and we're going to say calc, and then we're looking here at regression. That's where we're going to move. So I'm going to say regression and linear regression. So I'm going to hit that, and it asks me what is my X and what is my Y. So it's asking me what's my explanatory and what's my response. So my explanatory variable is my income. My response variable is my carbon dioxide. Now it's worth keeping in mind that these always don't necessarily fall into order. So it can be a bit of a trap that you think the first one's X and the second one's Y. And that's not always the case. What you need to keep in mind is the idea of one will respond to the other. And so the response is always the Y. Remember as well, explanatory starts with an E, that's before the alphabet compared to response, and X is before the alphabet compared to Y. So we'll put these in, and then what I will do is I'll say OK, and I get this screen. And one of the things that I get on this screen is I'll get A, B, R, and my R tells me it's 0.8183. That is my correlation coefficient. So from my calculator, R equals 0.8183. And there is the value of my correlation coefficient, or my Pearson's correlation coefficient. Have I answered the question? I don't think so, because here I've noticed that it's just said 2 decimal places. So therefore, my answer should be R equals 0.82. So what I'll do is I'll put that in the box and I'll make it clear to the examiner that that's not actually my answer and that this is my answer here. And they'll be delighted.
If you found this video helpful, please subscribe or like. Thanks.